everyone, welcome back to the homestead. I'm making a chicken enchilada casserole today. So I've started with one large onion. I've already peeled it and diced it, and also 2 pounds of chicken, and I've already chopped that up. I will be using some corn chips today. You can also use corn tortillas or flour tortillas, but I really like using corn chips. And then I'm actually kind of partial to the green enchilada sauce, but if you prefer red enchilada sauce, you can do that. I am going to be using 2 cans of the green enchilada sauce. These are the 15-ounce cans. And then some shredded cheese. You can use cheddar cheese for this. I prefer the Fiesta blend, so this is what we're using today. We'll begin with a couple of tablespoons of oil. I'm using sunflower oil, but really any oil that you like to use for cooking is fine in this recipe. Warm that up to medium-high heat and add our onions. We'll cook those until they're nice and tender and just a little bit browned and caramelized. When our onions have sauteed, I can go ahead and add the chicken. And then I'm going to sprinkle just about a half a teaspoon of salt. I don't want to use a lot of salt. There's salt in the enchilada sauce. The chips are also salty, and so is the cheese. So I don't want to over salt this, but just a little bit will help to season that chicken. And by the way, this is a great way to use maybe some of that leftover chicken that you had from last night's dinner, or perhaps even the holiday turkey, or a rotisserie chicken, something that comes together even quicker. Just go ahead and use the same process. Saute the onions first, and then cut up your chicken, and then add it to this. Just warm it up a little bit, and then you're ready to move to the next step. My chicken has been cooking for about 5 minutes. All of the meat is already cooked. It's nice and white. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this right over to my workstation. And then I'm going to start layering. Now first, I'm going to be using some of these corn chips. And it's going to make a lot of noise. And I like to make sure that I have a really nice thick layer of corn chips on the bottom of this. And again, you can use corn tortillas or flour tortillas if you would prefer to do that. Just maybe rip those into tinier pieces. If you have some leftover chips from last night's party, this is also a great way to use those and get rid of them so that they're not going stale in your pantry. Now, I've already opened up my cans of enchilada sauce, and I'm going to take one of those cans and just pour it all over the chicken. I like this to be really kind of nice and soggy because those chips are so dry, they're going to just soak up all of the juices in here. So I want to make sure that there's plenty of fluid so that this crust doesn't stay really hard and crunchy. And I'm going to just use a large spoon and spoon all of this chicken in here, making sure that I'm bringing the juices with it. And then I'm going to add some of my cheese. Now, how much do you use? It depends on how much you like. If you're really a cheese lover, then feel free to add on very liberally. If you would prefer to maybe make it a little bit lower in calories, then you can skimp out on the cheese. So you be the judge of that. It's whatever you prefer. One of the things that I love about this, and you may have noticed, I really don't have a recipe per se. It's a very forgiving recipe to make, so you really kind of have some flexibility in that. Once my cheese is layered, I'm going to use some more of these chips to kind of form a crust over the top. And I like to use enough chips to cover the cheese really well. I really like that flavor that it gives to this casserole, and it really kind of forms the bottom crust and the top crust as well. So once that's done, then I'm going to take my second can of enchilada sauce and just pour it over the that entire surface. I'm going to try to spread it evenly so that I don't have any parts of this that is staying too dry. And then I'll use the back of my spoon to just kind of level it all out and smooth it out. And because we really like cheese, I'm going to sprinkle a little more cheese over the top. And even if you're not a big fan of cheese and you want to cut down on some of this, I still recommend that you sprinkle a little bit over the top. So just kind of keep that in mind whenever you're using this. All right, this is ready to go in the oven. That's been preheating. It's now at 400 degrees. This is going to bake for about 30 minutes. Everything that's in here is already cooked, so there's no danger in it, but you want to make sure that you're baking everything long enough so that that cheese gets melted, all of that enchilada sauce gets soaked into those chips, and everything just starts tasting like one amazing casserole. Here we are, middle shelf, and I don't normally cover this up. I like to leave it open so that that top layer of cheese gets nice and brown and crispy. All right, 30 minutes later, and guys, look at this. Doesn't that look amazing? Are y'all getting hungry? It smells delicious. So whether you have some leftovers that you want to put to good use, or you just want to try a new recipe for your family, I promise they're going to love it. This is delicious. You can serve it with a side of salad, or some rice, or some chips and salsa. It's going to be terrific. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.